against Sacramento Republic. These are going to be two fun front runners to watch all night.
No, that's exactly right. And big players step up in big games, and you can see Patino having 5 goals in 4 playoff games. That's a really good stat, and I'm sure he's hoping to have another performance like that tonight.
90 minutes, perhaps more, is what separates one of these clubs from a trip to the final and a date with Louisville City. Jordan Farr, nominee for Goalkeeper of the Year. Mitchell Tainer, nominee for Defender of the Year in the USL. And maybe the most clutch player, Santiago Patino. Starting lineups and kick when we return. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're helping me out. Thanks, Frank.
You are really low, Lamar.
Yeah, he is.
You're low right now. I can barely hear you.
Thank you. You remember?
A little bit
You remember
better.
too late. I'm just kidding. You made my hair look bad on TV. I'm just kidding. No, we're all good. Halftime, I'll look good now. Thank you, Frank. Did you drink out of that one, or did I? No.
I didn't drink that one yet.
I drank out of it. We're good. No, we're good. We're good.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, we've practiced it enough. We could do it.
Okay.
If you need it. Are we still on standby?
Yeah. Okay.
Sweet.
What's that? No, I'm good. One half of the USL Championship final is set. When the night is said and done, we'll have our final pairing. San Antonio FC and Colorado Springs Switchbacks have been two of the best in the West all year. They meet in the Western Conference Final here from Toyota Field. And a pleasant good evening, everyone. We say hello from the broadcast booth along with Hayden Partain. I'm Dan Weiss. Great to have you with us. Hayden, let's start with San Antonio FC, the #1 overall seed. They made their playoff debut this season last Friday night in a 3-0 win against Oakland, and it couldn't get off to a more blazing start, scoring 118 seconds into the match.
That's exactly right. They had a stellar performance really in both ends of the box. Unfortunate to lose the PC midfielder with an injury there, not in the lineup tonight. But also Jordan Farr in the defense really did a good job, and then they scored some fabulous goals.
Santiago Patino puts it away with a brace in the final quarter hour. It's his second career playoff brace with SAFC. 5 playoff goals in just 4 postseason matches. The San Antonio advances to their second straight Western Conference final by virtue of a 3-0 victory over Oakland Roots SC. They meet Colorado Springs Switchbacks SC here tonight, Hayden. And Colorado Springs was the best team in USL Championship in the first 3 months of the season. They went 11-2 in their first 13 matches. It went a little seesaw and sideways for them in the second half of the year, but they've found their form, as you see, advancing to their first ever Western Conference final thanks to wins over RGV and an impressive come-from-behind victory against Sacramento Republic last Saturday night.
Yeah, and timing's everything. You know, you can have a great season or you can have just a subpar season and get into playoffs, but now is the time to perform and find ways to get wins.
And in their first ever Western Conference final, obviously looking for their first ever trip to the championship. And we'll focus on two key players tonight. We already mentioned one, Santiago Patino, with those 5 playoff goals. In the 2 last week, he's got 11 in 28 career regular season matches for San Antonio FC. And Mishi Galina on the other side for Colorado Springs Switchbacks, a career year, 14 goals, including the 2 he had last Saturday night against Sacramento Republic. These are going to be 2 fun front runners to watch all night.
No, that's exactly right. And big players step up in big games, and you can see Patino having 5 goals in 4 playoff games. That's a really good stat, and I'm sure he's hoping to have another performance like that tonight.
90 minutes, perhaps more, is what separates one of these clubs from a trip to the final and a date with Louisville City. Jordan Farr, nominee for Goalkeeper of the Year. Mitchell Tainer, nominee for Defender of the Year in the USL. And maybe the most clutch player, Santiago Patino. Starting lineups and kick when we return.
$69.8 cubic feet for inflatable fun. Up to 40 miles of uncharted terrain per gallon. 37.7 inches of headroom.
That's definitely mountain lion.
For tall tales. And 2 number 4s for even bigger appetites. Amazing how much life you can fit into a RAV4. Toyota, let's go places.
For me, starting out in this business, it was very overwhelming and also exciting. My name is Casey Hanlon, and SWBC PEO really helped propel my business. They have automated payroll systems for me. They helped create my employee handbook, and they have over 45 experts that know how to handle just about anything employee related. I could not have one person do the job that SWBC PEO does for us. Our partnership is not just business, it's a relationship.
At HEB, we're inspired by Mexico. The colors, the flavors, and aromas. And we want to share them with you. So we created the HEB Mi Tienda family of products with authentic Mexican flavors, from savory marinated meats, frijoles and queso, to tamales, soft drinks, and more. HEB Mi Tienda brings you the traditional flavors you love. One more reason here, everything's better.
Real salon experiences, real savings, real fantastic. Only at Fantastic Sam's.
It is a championship Sunday in the Western Conference. San Antonio FC and Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC meet tonight for the right to play Louisville City a week from tonight in the USL Championship final. Great to have you with us, along with Hayden Partain and our entire crew. I'm Dan Weiss. Thanks for joining us from a sold-out Toyota Field as we bring you tonight's championship match in the Western Conference. And we bring you starting 11s for both sides. Beginning with the visitors from Colorado Springs Switchbacks, anchored by their keeper, Jeff Caldwell, who went 15-9-3 in the regular season in 27 appearances with 9 clean sheets. We mentioned Mishi Galina up top. Jairo Enriquez was acquired mid-season, had 3 goals in 12 matches, and Cam Lindley, one of the best playmakers, making his return to Toyota Field. And as you look at San Antonio FC, the big change, of course, PC out tonight with upper body injury. Connor Maloney will slide into his spot in the midfield. San Antonio FC will play out wide with Shannon Gomez and Carter Manley, but the 3 strikers, Hayden, that finished the match, Sam Adeniran, Santiago Patino, and Justin Dillon, start tonight for Alan Marcina.
Yeah, and I think that change, maybe shifting Pirano onto the bench, and those front 3 that are just hard to handle, I think he's one to start the game off strong.
Jordan Farr is fired up, so is this sold-out crowd tonight at Toyota Field. Sam Adeniran has the ball at his feet. And for the first time in their history, San Antonio FC hosts the Western Conference Final. Center referee tonight is Kevin Broadley. San Antonio FC in their home black kits trimmed in silver. Colorado Springs Switchbacks in their away white kits with the blue stripes. Temperature tonight at kickoff 74 degrees. It is a gorgeous night for soccer here in early November. No wind to speak of tonight, which is something unusual. We've seen a lot of wind in these matches here in Toyota Field over the past 6 weeks or so. We'll see calm conditions play to both sides this evening, and an early confrontation right in front of the scores table as Gomez was going for a loose ball, and a Colorado Springs Switchbacks wingback ended up ending up right in front of the officials' table. And Brendan Burke, the head coach for Colorado Springs, a little bit dismayed watching his player go down here in the opening minute of the match.
Yeah, and it was a fair challenge. I mean, Shannon Gomez was playing the ball, and both players proceeded off the pitch. It's not his fault that where the table is sitting, I guess.
Sebastian Anderson, that's who I thought it was, coming off on that right side, and he gets undertowed there as he ends up off the pitch a little bit onto that concrete, which of course makes it that much more dangerous on his back, which you can see he's kind of favoring a little bit Hayden, holding on the bottom side, but it's like he's going to be okay to continue. And it's good news for Colorado Springs. Sebastian Anderson, along with Michael Edwards, has really solidified their back line. Anderson playing in the final 5 matches of the regular season. He's a 20-year-old homegrown product from the Highland Ranch, Colorado area and Colorado Rapids system. Michael Edwards, who was part of the DC United Academy, came over to the Colorado Rapids system and rejoined Colorado Springs late in the season as well. And that's made a difference on a back line, Hayden, that comes into tonight the most goals allowed of any club in the Western Conference playoff field, 53. They were 15th in the championship in goals against, but 5th in goals for with 59, and that's really where they've been dangerous all year.
Yeah, and it's up against a team that's very good at defending.
We saw that last week for San Antonio FC once they got the opening goal, which was 30 seconds ago at this point, a week ago last Friday against Oakland. They essentially locked down and didn't give Roots much to work with after that. Ironically, in that match, Hayden, Oakland outshot SAFC 16-12, but of their 16 shots, only 3 of them were on target. And SAFC wasn't all that accurate themselves. Only 4 of their 12 shots on target for the night too, so just 33%.
Yeah, it was just an intense game. I think defenders were touch tight and putting shots off. That's why those stats looked that way.
Pressure building here in San Antonio FC will win an opportunity, but it's turned wide by Sam Adeniran on the edge of the box. Adeniran, who scored 118 seconds into the match, was the fastest goal for San Antonio FC this season. And his 11th goal of the year as Alan Marcina looks on in his 3rd year at the helm of the club. Regular season record of 48, 16, and 18. Took San Antonio FC to the Western Conference Final a year ago, where they lost in penalties at Orange County. And this year they get the benefit of hosting the Western Conference Final here at Toyota Field in front of this raucous crowd as Jordy Dellum is called for the foul as he climbs the back of Steven Echeverria.
Yeah, it's a well-won header, but Steven Echeverria is jumping straight up, and Dellum went over the back.
Mitchell Tainer, nominee for USL Championship Defender of the Year, is Sebastian Anderson. Will take the dribble. Anderson peeling back and getting support from the former El Paso Locomotive wingback Maka King. King will switch the play over to Tristan Hodge, the Jamaican in his 8th professional season, 28 years of age. Excuse me, Trinidad and Tobago native, 28 years of age. And Jeff Caldwell, who last season in Hartford was a finalist for Goalkeeper of the Year, coming over to Colorado Springs. An all-time record in USL play of 35, 35, and 14 as this ball ends up in the seats right below us. Take a look at the tail of the tape between these two sides. from the regular season, as you see their records, San Antonio 24-5-5, 17-13-4 for Colorado Springs, and you can see where the difference was. Both clubs were able to score, but a 27-goal differential in goals conceded.
Yeah, that's the biggest indicator. You know, SAFC can score 1 or 2 goals and trust their defense through the end of the game. I'm sure that they're hoping to replicate that throughout this Western Conference final.
Alan Marcina, I got a chance to visit with him on Friday. He's excited about hosting this, and certainly the memories of last year falling in the final in Orange County, a little fresh still, but gets to turn the page here tonight with the opportunity to host here at home. The run by the former SAFC midfielder Cam Lindley puts it into the box, and it's redirected back to Jordan Farr. Cam Lindley had his arms up, not sure whether he thought there was something egregious. Brendan Burke certainly did, standing on the Colorado Springs bench.
Yeah, it looked like on the clearance of Mitchell Tainter, the ball must have bobbled up. You know, that's a pretty harsh call, in my opinion. We'll see it here.
You can see there was a little bit of off the ball, off the contact of the hand right there on the replay. And Brendan Burke, who saw his share of red cards over the course of the regular season, is served yellow in the 7th minute by Kevin Broadley.
You don't want to get a red card, you know, that's pretty early for a coach to get a yellow, but I see why he's frustrated. I mean, watching the Premier League games this morning, there was a header down to a defender point blank range and hit his hand clear and obvious, but there's nothing the player really can do. It's a deflection.
So we play on. San Antonio FC holding in the attacking third, now back with Fabian Garcia. And there wasn't much change in style or play for SAFC after PC went out in the 8th minute last week against Oakland. They slid Connor Maloney from his wing-back position into PC's spot. Carter Manley, who had started 21 of 23 matches this year, came on and played really on his normal outside right-back spot. And really for SAFC, they didn't miss a beat, Hayden.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I think it was seamless, really, the change. The only thing is, you know, having Abu and PC on the ball, their quality to pick out passes, you know, might be missed a little bit, but Dellum and Maloney found a way to just be workhorses and win the second balls, win the knockdowns, and play the balls to the front runners who found ways to create chances.
And on the other side, Colorado Springs, after a 3-0 win over RGV in the opening weekend of the playoffs, they fell behind at home at Widener Field to Sacramento 1-0, but Mishi Galina would equalize and then would get his second goal, his first career playoff brace, in extra time to propel the home side to their first ever Western Conference final.
And that's something SAFC is going to have to watch out for tonight. He had an absolute field day on the right side of the field against Sac. Found a way to get the back of the net twice.
And that will be the matchup really to watch from SAFC's defensive standpoint, is Shannon Gomez against Mishi Galina, who was named a nominee for USL Championship Young Player of the Year after scoring 12 goals and collecting 8 assists and 34 starts in the regular season. He only came out for 5 minutes, Hayden, in all 34 matches.
That's unbelievable.
And that's a high boot there upfield as Mitchell Tainter catches a boot up high. And the yellow card is already being pulled out on Galina.
Yeah, and that has to be at least a yellow card. I'm gonna have to see the replay again to see if the studs were showing to the face. But if the studs were showing, I mean, that's a questionable red card at that point. Can't really tell at that point. And that turn definitely makes a little bit of contact.
Looks like it's the front outside of his foot, not the studs up. So right there, yeah, you can see the toe of his boot. So that's contact, no question. High boot, yellow, absolutely. Studs not showing, though, so I think it's the right call.
Yeah, I'd agree.
A dangerous play nonetheless, and certainly a dangerous play from Colorado Springs' perspective, as their best player is now sitting on a yellow card here 10 minutes into the match.
Yeah, their best player and their coach. But other than that, I mean, to be honest, the game has been pretty stop and start. There hasn't been anything in it too far.
Well, this is the third meeting this year between these two sides. SAFC has taken 2 1-0 victories, including here at Toyota Field back on the 20th of September as PC converted from the spot as he beat backup keeper Christian Herrera. And San Antonio FC went on to the 1-0 victory, collecting his own rebound and putting it in. And with the other goal in Colorado Springs back on June 24th being an own goal by Matt Mahoney. Really no goals in the run of play in this series. As you see the 2 regular season matches, and all time San Antonio FC has in the 14 meetings taken 7 victories against just 3 defeats and 4 draws. And Hayden, here at home, they have never lost to Colorado Springs in 7 matches, going 5-0-2 since debuting in USL Championship back in 2016. So Colorado Springs trying to make some history, not only winning for the first time here, but then advancing to their first ever USL Championship final. This match has already featured fireworks in the early goings. Connor Maloney in the middle of the park, and he'll spin out of the tackle of Echeverria. Carter Manley, edge of the box, trying to play it in, and it's defended out there by Tristan Hodge. And on the counter-attack is where Galena is deadly as he races up against Jasser Kamiri, and Kamiri will sweep it away from Galena.
And that's where SAFC's got to be careful. You know, Connor Maloney had a great play in the middle of the park, played out wide, made a late run into the box, and then Dellum was kind of left alone against 3 midfielders in that play of transition. Jasser sawed it out and did a really good job of winning that tackle to put the ball out of play.
There's Jimmy Ockford, longtime veteran, his 9th professional season. It's interesting tonight, Hayden. They've got, you know, Ockford almost playing in a holding midfielding spot, but it's as if Colorado Springs is playing really with 5 defenders, is what they're featuring against San Antonio. Very different from what they've shown in the playoffs so far. Shannon Gomez slips past Maka King. Justin Dillon. Back to Gomez, edge of the box. Gomez cuts it to the inside, goes to ground, gets back up. Dillon towards that back post, and Hodge will make the clearance out. Hodge again climbing the ladder, keeping that ball out of the 18-yard box. San Antonio FC trying to break through once again as Jordy Dellum in the midfield. The offside flag will stay down as Jeff Caldwell will scamper over.
That was a great piece of combination play between Dillon and Gomez on that left side. You can see they're trying to find those combination plays really and just get into the box, but no shots off yet. Shannon Gomez trying to put defender on skates. But back to your point with their somewhat of a formation change from what we've seen, I think they're just kind of adapting to what they'd expect as the 3 high front runners. I mean, when you have 4 in the back and then you have 3 big strikers that all can secure and protect the ball, run in behind as well as check 2, I mean, that's really hard to ask a back line of 4 to defend.
Yeah, and there you had Ockford in it, who's almost playing in a role that we saw Sam Hamilton sometimes play with New Mexico United. So New Mexico, who's had success against SAFC in the past, might be a tactic that Brendan Burke is taking out of their pocket as this ball is volleyed along forward. And right now, neither club establishing much possession here in the opening quarter hour of this match. Colorado Springs at 53% possession for the season. It's a hard challenge by Dellum, but we play on with the advantage.
Yeah, and I think they need to bring that back. It looked like a head injury in my opinion.
That's Galena again, who's in the middle of it.
Yeah, just the shoulder caught that cheek.
It has been an inauspicious start for Mishi Galena here in the first quarter hour as the Congolese native has picked up a yellow card and now is being attended to after the confrontation with Jordy Dellum. But Galena, who finished tied for 16th in the championship in goals with 12, 6th in shots with 72. He led the championship in dribbles. And arguably, with the ball at his feet, he was one of the best in USL. Alan Marcinez said that he believed Galena was the MVP of the championship this year, which ironically, Galena's former teammate Haji Berry, who left after a record transfer fee to the Egyptian League with 4 matches remaining in the regular season, is up for the MVP of the year after scoring 16 goals in 30 matches.
Yeah, that's tough to still be on the team and kind of still be behind the spotlight of someone else. But yeah, no, Galena's a fantastic player, and it's good that he's back on his feet and walking this off.
He's got a long history with his head coach Brendan Burke, who identified him at the Montverde Academy in Orlando when he was just a teenager. Eventually signed with Philadelphia, spent time in Bethlehem, and then when Brendan Burke took the job in Colorado Springs back in December of 2020, he brought not only Galena over, but a lot of players that he had coached at Bethlehem Steel or at Reading United, 2 places that he primarily had coached. Sebastian Anderson over the top, looking in the direction of Echeverria. Jordan Farr, who was tested a couple of times by Oakland, and true to his colors, Jordan was there to answer the bell every single time. Here's Justin Dillon as he ends up going to ground, and a foul whistled against San Antonio.
Yeah, that's a bit tough. Dillon felt that he was clipped, and his forward inertia really just took him into the other player, causing a foul. You can just see a little contact. He fell forward and tackled the ball carrier at that point. Drawing a foul is a pretty strange moment. But back to your point, I mean, really, there hasn't been anything in this game so much.
Yeah.
Like, I really would like to see a player put their foot on the ball, you know, maybe keep the ball on the ground. It's been just challenges, and second balls really, so far, we haven't seen anything.
And the question is whether the first 20 minutes will pass, will settle in, and then eventually we'll see some soccer here progressing over the duration of the match. As Michael Edwards upfield, Maka King off of Mitchell Tainer, and a throw belonging here to Colorado Springs. So far through their 2 playoff matches, outscoring the opposition 5-1, outshooting the opposition 26-16. They've also earned 13 corners. Here's Anderson up the right flank, met by Mitchell Tainer, and Anderson will win possession back, clips a ball into the box, is defended out by Fabian Garcia, and on cue, the first corner of the match belonging to Colorado Springs.
And that's really well done by the Switchbacks to win the ball back. The cross is in a great area. It's so dangerous. Garcia is facing his own goal, but does a really good job of kicking it out before deflecting in his own goal.
And one of the best specialists in USL, Cam Lindley, who played 30 matches with San Antonio FC a year ago, and then signing with Colorado Springs in the offseason. He led the USL in chances at 94, and he was tied for 4th in crosses attempted at 190 in the regular season. He sets up here at the near stick. Lindley, the ball to the top of the 6 is headed out by Tainer.
Yeah, just didn't have enough juice on it. Couldn't get past the first man. Tainer did a good job of getting that clear.
Cam's second trip returning to Toyota Field since signing with Colorado Springs, but he's got to be pretty amped up playing this conference final here tonight, Hayden. Jairo Henriquez, the El Salvador native, will be called for the foul here. Henriquez, 26 caps with the El Salvadoran national club, 16 goals in 249 career matches for the 29-year-old, one of the midseason acquisitions by Brendan Burke's Switchbacks, the other being the veteran Aaron Wheeler, who will likely come off the bench for the final 20 minutes of the match. He scored twice in the opening playoff victory against RGV. He was pulled out of retirement, Hayden, practically retired for 2 full seasons before strapping him right back on and getting out on the pitch. And Brendan Burke told me that not only will Aaron Wheeler provide a solid 20 minutes, but when his career does officially come to an end, he'll likely be on his staff as an assistant coach, as Jordan Farr is down as well. And we're seeing already the physicality being established here in these opening 20 minutes, and neither club is really appreciative of the other side right now. The tactics that have been thrown is, you see Farr is down, and the center referee, Kevin Broadley, I know it's early, Hayden, but he's got to take a little bit more control of the match here so far.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I'm sitting here saying, there's nothing in it, but we have seen, late challenges, cards already. The competitiveness and the scrappiness is there, and you're exactly right. The refs got to take charge of this. I don't even know if the refs saw the severity of that, and it was pretty late on the follow through from Jordan Farr. He took a shoulder to the cheek.
And sitting on a yellow.
Yeah.
Making that run there.
Yeah, that's careless in my opinion. That very well, the way they make calls for goalkeepers and protecting them, that very well could have been a second yellow. I mean, yeah, that's
late. He's late there with the shoulder. He's lucky in a way that he's going to escape without being sent off here 21 minutes into the match, which would just be disastrous for the visitors. But when your center referee has only handed out one yellow for everything that's gone on, and it was a true yellow, obviously very dangerous boot by Mishi Galina up in the face of Mitchell Tainer. We didn't think it deserved any more than that. There's been plenty more that certainly could have brought on mustard here so far. Brendan Burke told me when I talked to him on Wednesday, he said, I'm telling my guys to prepare for a bar fight. And you know what? I feel like that's what we've gotten here in these first 21 minutes. Brendan Burke getting his own yellow as we show again the one yellow in the run of play for Mishi Galina with that dangerous play up in the face of Mitchell Tainer. And then here's his late contact with the keeper, Jordan Farr.
I mean, he's made contact with two different players' faces and is only sent on a yellow. I mean, that's pretty good odds for him.
Jasser Kamiri will spot Santiago Patino. Patino settles, tries to turn, and it's blocked back to the outside as Cam Lindley directs back out. Manley will put it out wide. Patino into the box. Maloney with it on his feet and puts it in! Connor Maloney! He puts SAFC on the board 23 minutes into the match.
Wow, that was not an easy finish. That was a great first touch from Maloney to get his body positioning and his balance back to then put that back post. But it all started from Patino shielding it off, taking a chance himself, and then putting in a great ball. But what a finish from Maloney, and I mean, I think that's his first goal. What a time to score.
It is Connor Maloney's first professional goal. And it comes 23 minutes into the Western Conference Final. Maybe perhaps the unlikeliest of goal scorers to pick to score the opening goal in this match. But he's been on it, Hayden. If you've watched Connor Maloney all season, he's been so close to that first career goal, and he's got it here 23 minutes in. And San Antonio FC this season, when scoring first, which they did in 22 of 34 regular season matches, was 21-0-1. And going back to the beginning of last season, they never lost when scoring the first goal.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, they've found ways to score one, two goals and be able to defend and shut teams out. So, it's a big step in the right direction so far, but a lot of football to be played left.
So San Antonio FC, which always seems to get out on their front foot here in these crucial opening minutes. They did it less than 2 minutes into the match a week ago last Friday against Oakland Roots, and then was able to really settle in at that point, play how they wanted to play, dictating the match. But if you're Colorado Springs, this is old business for them and familiar, because they were in the exact same position last week against Sacramento, who scored the opening goal. And with a club that scored 59 times in the regular season, they can be equally dangerous on their front foot as well, too.
Yeah, that's right, and they won't settle. They'll continue to fight until the final whistle. But I've said this multiple times. It's really difficult as the game gets later towards the end of the match, you know, being a goal down against SAFC, it makes things very tough.
So Connor Maloney, who we've mentioned before, ironically was a striker in his collegiate career at Penn State, and then switched out to a right back and left back once he made the move to professional soccer, where he was drafted by Columbus Crew. And wouldn't you know, the old striker in him comes up with the first goal in the Western Conference Final, as he tries to spot Cutter Manley now on the overlapping run. And Cam Lindley for Maka King. Echeverria will turn it out wide. Anderson. Galena has two shadow him and Tainer and Shannon Gomez. Galena.
Galena's made some enemies very quickly in this match.
Anderson. Michael Edwards switched the play. Matt Mahoney, the captain. And Tristan Hodge over the top. The crafty run here coming on the left side is defended out, coming back by who else? Connor Maloney, as defensively directing it away from Jairo Henriquez, conceding the corner.
And that's well done by the Switchbacks. They won the ball in one area of the field, switched it. Pressure, you know, was there. SAFC had responded well, and then switched it back across to then make a direct ball. It was good sustained possession and created a corner out of that.
San Antonio FC conceded 9 corners last Friday against Oakland, but defended them so well it didn't seem like they minded giving those up. This is well set up for Cam Lindley, and it's redirected wide as it was headed towards frame. But a cheeky little set piece by Colorado Springs, playing it short, and then Lindley circling back out to the edge of the box, getting a pretty good looking attempt.
Yeah, and that ball had some wicked movement on it. Looked like he had drilled the ball straight into the ground, but Jordan Farr, knowing where his goal's at, knew to leave it.
Hodge. And off of Henriquez. And a throw awarded back here to Colorado Springs. Carter Manley taking the spot of the injured PC. Also Mohamed Abu out as well. Lower body injury for Abu, so the two men in the middle of the park who've operated things all year for San Antonio not available tonight in their most important match of the season. Galena outside. Anderson, Jimmy Ockford, Henriquez, and Hodge getting forward. Hodge trying to slip one through to Galena, and Jasser Kamiri stepping forward to anticipate. Off of Kamiri, Colorado Springs will keep possession. Maka King uses his frame to shield off the defender, Shannon Gomez. Directing it back to Jordan Farr, and not surprisingly, Hayden, it seems like that goal has kind of settled everyone down here. You know, there was, to your point, not much soccer necessarily being played in the first 20 minutes. Clearly tensions were high on both sides. San Antonio FC gets a fortunate bounce inside the area, turned on by Connor Maloney. And at that point, it seems like now we've got ourselves a match. But for SAFC in the driver's seat, up 1, playing with a lead at home where they've been so successful over the years. All-time regular season record at home for SAFC of 59 wins against just 14 defeats, 33 draws. And with this tonight being their 8th playoff match in their 7-year history, 7 of them have been right here at Toyota Field. Pretty amazing stuff. And Kamiri is fouled by Echeverria.
Kamiri's so good at reading where the ball is going to be played, when it's going to be played, and stepping through. Gets on the right side of the ball there and draws the foul. But yeah, since the goal, Colorado Springs have been moving the ball well. Haven't really truly created something though. That final product hasn't been delivered. But they're sustaining possession side to side.
Tainer delivering one into the box, and Lindley will make the clearance. Tainer will bring it back down. Shannon Gomez. Return to Mitchell. Kamiri. Spotting Gomez. Lost his footing, will recover. Gomez running on King. Slips one through. Justin Dillon. Service across the face of goal was nearly a great opportunity to be turned past Jeff Caldwell, instead directed out by Switchbacks, and a throw belonging to San Antonio.
And there's Dillon running his favorite route, you know, inside to outside. You just needed Dinnerin to be running hard to that front post. You had a back post run from Patino and a PK spot run from Maloney, but Dinnerin was kind of hoping for the cutback, it looked like. But if he takes that chance and makes that run, he might be on the end of that for a finish.
Patino trying to make the turn, is upended right at the top of the 18-yard box, and a foul whistled. And a free kick just outside the area for SAFC.
Yeah, that right there is the definition of obstruction. Just steps through in the way of the ball carrier's position as he proceeds running forward and doesn't actually win the ball at all. I think the ref made the right call. I think it was right outside the PK spot, and he fell into the PK box.
Yeah, you can see the foul's right in that circle outside the top of the area. But nonetheless, what an opportunity for SAFC. Right at the 19-yard mark as Fabian Garcia sets the ball.
Yeah, this is an extremely dangerous area for a set piece, but it is difficult when you're that close to the 18-yard box to get the ball over the wall and then back down below the crossbar. So Garcia's going to have to put some finesse on this. You can see Steven Echeverria laying behind the wall in case Garcia tries to be cheeky and hit the ball underneath the wall when it jumps. I've seen that a few times.
Garcia over the ball. Going for goal and well over frame.
Yeah, just too much pace on it. I mean, the shape was there for maybe a free kick 15 yards further out. But yeah, it's very difficult. You have to almost barely hit it. When you score those right there, you think you hit it too soft. You can see he's trying to hit it over the wall at that front post. Just too much on it.
He's been a magician with those set pieces all season. In his mind, just not enough of the space to make his magic happen. And so SAFC maintaining their 1-0 lead here as Hodge upfield with Henriquez. Jairo Henriquez. Back to Hodge. And Lindley joining the play. Colorado Springs trying to open up here a little bit. Henriquez looking to spot Galena making the run. Well defended by Kamiri. Adeniran looks to make the turn. Well played there out of the back by Michael Edwards. Adeniran back with it right in front of Brendan Burke at the touch line, and he was trying to work with Santiago Patino, and Patino didn't complete his run.
Yeah, I think he was wanting the ball earlier so that he could then cross it back to Adeniran, but Adeniran wanted to hold on to it, maybe to draw some pressure, a committed defender, and Patino at that point was not committed to continuing the run.
It's very interesting that keeper Jeff Caldwell's content to play the ball to his defenders out of the back instead of trying to boom it forward upfield, and especially even more so when you consider the philosophy of San Antonio FC, pressuring and repressuring with or without the ball, and they were all over Matt Mahoney in that sequence there before he was able to get rid of it. And Enriquez then was fouled upfield.
Yeah, and I don't mind that. You know, all coaches are going to have different styles. You know, if that's what has been the style that they've played to get to this point, then don't change it, right? Maybe change the formation according to the other team because you want starting positions to be similar and defending certain players. But if you play out of the back, play out of the back. The players, if you change it up in a big game like this, there could be unfamiliarity. You know, they could be uncomfortable. But yes, it is risky, especially with the style that SAFC play and that high pressure. You can see Adeniran tracking back and fighting as if he's a defender.
Win the turnover on cue. Dylan slips the ball in. Patino. And a whistle, and the flag is up on Dylan across field. An offside position after that run got broken up. But again, that's my point. You're playing out of the back, but you've got an SAFC team that's just they're just not going to let Colorado Springs be comfortable tonight playing the ball out of the back. And that's great scouting by Alan Marcina, because SAFC kind of worked on the pressure out of the back on those plays all week during training. And you could see it worked exactly how he would hope. Apply the pressure on the defender in hopes of creating a turnover, and it did exactly that for San Antonio in that last sequence. And they try to go vertical here, and you know, that's the other thing too. To your point, if you're trying to change it up and try to play vertical, and Galina's so special of a player, but yet he's got a certain way where he's making plays with the ball. He's not your Santiago Patino who's trying to run down the ball necessarily.
Right, and that's what makes the style of play for SAFC so effective. Is, you know, they're man-to-man in a lot of areas, but they trust each other to win their individual battles. So you could play short and maybe draw a player and then play it long, but then you have to have a striker that's going to be able to sustain the possession against a Mitchell Tainter or Kamiri, and then get your players up to then support that. It's very difficult. You know, the best way to try to exploit SAFC is switch the ball from one side to the next quickly and hope that they don't transition quick enough, which they do that too. So you're really out of options at that point.
Ockford, Enriquez trying to spot Anderson making the run as he loses possession, and Tainer skies it up to the midfield line. Michael Edwards volleying it right to Santiago Patino, trying to spot Adeniran making the run. Adeniran held up. Now Patino trying to catch Caldwell off his line, but Caldwell was well prepared for that one. Patino put it over goal anyway.
Yeah, I think Patino felt the bodies around him, and he couldn't keep the pace up, so he's like, why not? Worst thing can be is it's a goal kick.
And SAFC again creates the turnover here in the Colorado Springs defensive third, although Carter Manley is brought to the field. Maka King sending it forward. Echeverria over to Henriquez. Jairo Henriquez again trying to spot Galina on that run, and again Kamiri was all over it.
Yeah, you could see Mitchell Tainter was tracking the runner, and he passed him on to Kamiri. The communication there was so good, and again, Kamiri's finding ways to sniff out passes.
That was a good starting run by Shannon Gomez, but heavy on that last touch. As the ball goes across the touchline, will return to Colorado Springs Switchbacks. Carter Manley remains down after the defensive sequence there, along with Cam Lindley and Tristan Hodge over there. And they'll bring out the trainer for San Antonio FC in the 40th minute.
And looking back at that, I don't know how that's not a foul, to be honest. One player just hip checks the ball carrier, and then the other takes the ball.
So Connor Maloney scoring in the 23rd minute. His first goal ever in league play. We were corrected because Connor Maloney scored in the US Open Cup against defeaters. And the US Open Cup is not league play.
Yeah, that's right.
I guess a goal's a goal, Hayden.
Yeah, no, I thought you were going to say, I remember 2020 season when we were playing against FC Dallas. He took a PK and scored that, but that was preseason. But what a touch here. Like I said, he got the ball out from under his feet, got his balance right, and made solid contact through traffic. Make it really unsavable at that point.
And you see he's wearing the armband tonight as the captain in place of PC. No more appropriate player to wear the armband tonight in the absence of the San Antonio captain. For Connor Maloney, this is his 74th career appearance with San Antonio FC, regular season and playoffs. He's the club's all-time active leader in games played after the retirement of Matt Cardoni.
Yeah, and it looks like Manley had the breath knocked out of him from that previous challenge.
So Carter Manley will get back to his feet here and we'll try to walk it off before we come to halftime. And it'll be an interesting halftime, I'm sure, for both clubs. How does Brendan Burke try to figure out how to deliver the ball at the feet of his best playmaker and his best goal scorer, Mishi Galina? So far, it hasn't worked here in the first half. And for San Antonio FC, well, it's old hat for them, up a goal at the half, and just needing to take care of business to close it out in the second half to earn their first ever trip to the final.
Yeah, the Switchbacks have got to find a way to get a man free in the middle of the park. They're doing that, but it's then the next pass into the final third.
Anderson overlapping with Echeverria, King, and Anderson. Directed away from Cam Lindley. Echeverria, a little bit of pocket of space there. Puts one towards Jordan Farr. He'll punch it out. And Patino will settle. Jimmy Ockford dispossessing him, although it lands at the feet of Fabian Garcia, who will send Sam Adeniran off. And again, Hayden, I probably know exactly what you're going to say. That might be a situation where you'd like SAFC to maybe settle and play with the ball perhaps a little bit out of the back and try to develop something instead of sending Sam Adeniran off and just returning the ball right back to Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but if he plays that ball with a different kind of bend on it, curving towards the middle of the field, right? Adeniran is dangerous in those areas. He wants to be one-on-one there. I mean, we've seen it this year where he just is running at players and has that free real estate. But yeah, I mean, I'm always going to say my style, let's keep the ball on the floor. But I think at the end, safety at this point is better than trying to play out of the back and losing it in your defensive third.
Echeverria gave it a go. There was nothing doing on that bid that came from about 27 yards out. It's just Colorado Springs' second shot. San Antonio FC has 6 shots, just the one on target. So again, their accuracy, similar to where it was last week against Oakland, but the accuracy stats really are minor importance when you've got the lead and the game's only goal to this point. More important, the fact that Colorado Springs, of their 2 shots only in these first 45 minutes, and nothing to show that they would be something of a club that was an offensive juggernaut during the 34-match regular season in the Western Conference.
Yeah, especially against a goalkeeper like Jordan Farr. He hasn't truly been tested tonight, and we know he can make big-time saves.
Kamiri looking over the top for either Patino or Adeniran. Adeniran goes to ground, and a giveaway by Anderson. Maloney looking for Adeniran. Colorado Springs playing it out of the back. King turning on Connor Maloney. Upfield, Echeverria trying to spin away from Jordy Dellum, and he's able to play it out. Hodge and Lindley now. Lindley will switch it back. Anderson with footsteps coming of Shannon Gomez. Back to Maka King. And And a giveaway by the youngster Anderson. And this ball through to Patino, although he just didn't catch it on his proper foot there. Ball kind of slowed up a little bit while Santi was in the middle of his run. And the foul by Echeverria, colliding at the back of Jordy Dellum, right at the midfield circle.
You can see in those passes made by the switchbacks, every single player is just under pressure. They're having to play quicker. It's maybe rushed, and that's what leads to a turnover, maybe 3 or 4 passes into the play. But yeah, Patino was off to the races there. I think he was caught in between check and 2 and running in behind, and Justin Dillon kind of put it underneath his feet, making it very difficult to take that first touch.
You saw a healthy 5 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. With all the stoppages in the opening 20 minutes of the back and forth of the physical play, the physical aggressive tone being set by both sides. Mishi Galina seeing a yellow in the opening 10 minutes. Galina perhaps avoiding yellow with a run-in with Jordan Farr on a late hit after Jordan had cleared. And then Galina himself finding himself on the ground after collision with Jordy Dellum as well. So it's been an active half for the young 22-year-old, but probably not in the way he expected his first Western Conference final would go. As Hodge will spin out Ockford, Jairo Enriquez, Cam Lindley, Enriquez, and now Hodge. But again, there's the pressure by SAFC, directed away from Henriquez. He'll come up to take the throw.
And I mean, you can see the quality on the ball from the switchbacks, but they've got to get it off that side quicker if they want to continue to be on the ball.
Anderson going backwards. Caldwell again out of the back. Mahoney. Hodge. Such a contrasting style, Hayden, when you see these two clubs play. Maka King off the back heel there of Enriquez. Echeverria will come quickly to take the throw halfway through the allotted 5 minutes of added time here at the end of the first half. Echeverria will switch for Lindley. Enriquez upfield. Mishi Galina will open up, and that's blocked again. Jasser Kabiri getting a piece of that one. Jasser is having an outstanding first half.
Yeah, he means business tonight. He's finding a way to sniff out and block everything that comes into his zone. He blocked that so quickly, we don't even really know where it was going to go.
And to me, this is really where Hayden, Colorado Springs has got to make their hay on these set pieces, because I have a feeling this is where they're going to see an abundance of their chances throughout the remainder of this match. Again, that'll be directed out and will be yet another corner for Colorado Springs. And Cam Lindley's going to try to go quickly to catch SAFC off guard. Lindley, the outswinger, deep ball to the back post, and Ockford couldn't settle. And a counter here now. Adeniran held off by Galina. Hodge will volley to himself, settles. Enriquez now switched out on the right side, whips a ball in, down right inside the 18-yard box. It's defended out once again by SAFC.
Now the SAFC midfield line needs to step up. There's a gap between the back line and the strikers here in transition, and so winning these second balls has been easy for the switchbacks to continue to pin SAFC in towards the end of this half.
And it's the best momentum that the visitors have had so far here. As the run again by Henriquez. Henriquez just could not play it through Shannon Gomez. He'll direct it out. Colorado will take the throw with about 30 seconds or so remaining in the allotted 5 minutes. Well, at least switchbacks, if they fail to score before halftime, will feel good about generating something. At the very least, a positive momentum before going to the locker room. Flicked on, and it lands harmlessly here to Jordan Farr. He'll likely hold for the final whistle before we go to halftime. And that is where we will finish the opening 45 minutes. It is Connor Maloney who breaks the deadlock 23 minutes into the match. His first goal scored ever in USL Major League Soccer, and it couldn't have come at a better time. In the first half of the Western Conference Final, San Antonio FC is up 1 over Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC on a Sunday night at Toyota Field with a right to go to the USL Final.
If you know, you know.
Crispy corners, sauce on top.
If you know, you know.
Detroit style is back at Pizza Hut, just $12.99. You are trouble. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Texas is known for many things, yet one of the best-kept secrets is where the steaks are hot and so are the slots. Down south along the border outside of Eagle Pass, the Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino Hotel, the best gaming experience in the Southwest, where getting lucky is more than a feeling, it's a way of life. Book now, LuckyEagleTexas.com.
Welcome to Texas A&M University San Antonio, the fastest growing university in the A&M system. A state-of-the-art campus with world-class faculty who put you first. Discover what others already know. Whether you're looking to advance your career, start a new career, an undergraduate student, or begin your college degree, you'll see the only thing missing is you. A few miles from downtown that will get you miles ahead. Texas A&M University San Antonio. Ignite the future you today. Apply online or in person now.
One of our cheesiest burritos is back at Taco Bell, the double steak grilled cheese burrito.
It's 1-0 at the half. San Antonio FC leads Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC here in the Western Conference Final at Toyota Field. And we welcome you back upstairs to the broadcast booth along with Hayden Partain. I'm Dan Weiss. It's great to have you with us here on this Sunday evening. Well, Hayden, one of these clubs will get the right to play in their first ever USL Championship final and the right to play Louisville City, who last night earned another trip to the USL Championship final thanks to a goal with a man down in extra time by the 19-year-old academy product Elijah Winder.
Yeah, and it was a battle to the end of this one, and you could see that Tampa Bay Rowdies just couldn't get a clearance, and the ball fell to him, and he found a way to put it in the back of the net.
And there you see Winder wearing number 23. Just got the ball right at his feet and was able to put it in. The 19-year-old Lou City Academy product. What a story in front of a crowd of more than 11,000 at Lynn Family Stadium in downtown Louisville as they were awarded the Eastern Conference Final trophy. Headed to the USL Championship Final as we take a look at the playoff bracket. Your Final Four is down to a Final Three. And at the end of the night will be a Final Two, whether it'll be San Antonio FC or Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC that will advance to play Lou City. If it's Colorado Springs, it'll be in Louisville. If it's San Antonio FC, it's right back here at Toyota Field. A week from tonight, the two number one seeds will go head-to-head. Still 45 minutes, perhaps more to decide that. We'll take a look back at highlights and numbers from that first 45 minutes. San Antonio FC up 1 over Colorado Springs Switchbacks here. Sunday night at Toyota Field, the Western Conference Final.
We all have goals.
But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Tonight, you're going to be the one to show the world that you exist. So you step out into the light to respond with glory and to lift that trophy. We'll be singing together when we're winning together.
Potentially 45 minutes away from crowning a Western Conference champion. San Antonio FC, the number 1 overall seed, up 1 over the number 3 seed Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. As we welcome you back again to the broadcast booth with Hayden Partain, I'm Dan Weiss. Hayden, in that first half, I mean, you and I were talking, first 20 minutes, it was an entirely different match. Limited soccer actually being played. It was as if both teams just felt the tension, the energy, and they were more concerned about, I think, setting a physical tone, perhaps than actually trying to play. And then once SAFC scored, we got some good soccer over the final 25 minutes of that first half.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. You know, it was just battling at the beginning. See a clearance there from Mitch. Kamiri's just been lights out in the first half, sniffing out tackles. And, you know, Justin Dillon and Shannon Gomez found ways to combine here. But you're exactly right. Once the goal found its way from Connor Maloney, I felt like, you know, the Switchbacks settled in and they started playing their style, and the same with SAFC.
Connor Maloney scoring his first ever goal in either the USL or Major League Soccer. What a time, as Fabian Garcia had a great chance a little bit later in the half going for goal there just outside the spot. But, you know, what's interesting is, and not surprised from SAFC's perspective, they've defended this match very well once we got into soccer. You talked about Kamiri, but they have shut out any service to the top playmaker in Mishi Galina. And on the other side, the pressure for SAFC really getting to that back line of Colorado Springs, taking them out of what they want to do.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And Switchbacks are still continuing to build out of the back. They're finding good pockets in the midfield, but that final pass or service to their front runners is just not there. The defenders of SAFC are finding ways to step in and sniff that out.
Take a look at first half numbers here. And what you'll notice, especially if you're Colorado Springs, just one shot on target. And this was a club that came in having taken 23 shots and getting 9 of them on target in their first 2 playoff matches, just nothing doing. And for SAFC, sure, the shooting accuracy may not be there, but they've got the 1 goal and the 1 goal lead at home. And I get the sense that we're going to see a lot of what we saw perhaps for SAFC against Oakland Roots last week, where Oakland was trying to push. SAFC was content conceding corner after corner because they know how solid they are inside the area.
Yeah, and the biggest stat looking back on that board is the interceptions. SAFC is disrupting the play, and being a team that doesn't really care about the possession, you know, that's totally fine. Colorado Springs Switchbacks are playing straight into that style that SAFC want the game to go like.
So we have an idea of how Alan Marcino will play the second half with the lead. If you're Brendan Burke, what do you try to do to try to generate something offensively? They were able to find a few pockets there at the end of the first half, but what else do they need to do?
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I think what they should do is play short off the goal kick, then play a ball that's more direct, and then get midfielders underneath and then switch the play. So it's like a up back through, but then you switch the play on that final pass, and then you're going to isolate one of the defenders 1v1, and you're going to have to find a way to create a chance either off a shot or get runners in the box. That's what I think would work, but we'll see what they do.
Or they're going to need to capitalize on set pieces, because I think that's where they're going to find a goal and perhaps the equalizer if we get to that point. But it's 1-0, San Antonio FC with the lead at halftime over Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC here in the Western Conference Final.
We've got one shot to stop this pandemic.
And we are going to need your help.
We can't do it alone.
It's going to take the whole team.
Come on, San Antonio. We got this.
You want to join the team? Get vaccinated. I got my shot.
Yo recibí mi vacuna.
Yo también.
I got my shot. Did you get yours?
Don't miss your shot to help stop this pandemic.
Hi, sports fans. I'm Jeff Davis. To be a successful athlete, you need to have a great strategy. And just like your favorite competitor, at Davis Law Firm, we play to win.
Working remotely during this national emergency, we settled a wrongful death case for $6 million for the family of a father killed by a company van.
That means call the Fours because the Fours are with you. So if you've been in a car or truck wreck, call me at 444-4444. That's 444-4444. We'll come to you during this broadcast. That's right, there's only one number to remember, and that's 4.
Real salon experiences, real savings, real fantastic. Only at Fantastic Sam's.
For me, starting out in this business, it was very overwhelming and also exciting. My name is Casey Hanlon, and SWBC PEO really helped propel my business. They have automated payroll systems for me. They helped create my employee handbook, and they have over 45 experts that know how to handle just about anything employee related. I could not have one person do the job that SWBC PEO does for us. Our partnership is not just business, it's a relationship.
1-0, San Antonio FC with the lead over Colorado Springs Switchbacks here in the Western Conference Final. Win the ultimate World Cup viewing experience with the Hisense Playoff Sweepstakes. Grand prize of a Hisense 120-inch laser TV and a $500 gift card. Hisense Playoff Sweepstakes is now live and will run until November 13th at 11 p.m. Central. Scan the QR code for your chance to win. Don't forget the USL Championship Final next Sunday night, 7:30 on ESPN2. Second half coming up on the other side.
$69.8 cubic feet for inflatable fun. Up to 40 miles of uncharted terrain per gallon. 37.7 inches of headroom.
That's definitely my land.
For tall tales. And 2 number 4s for even bigger appetites. Amazing how much life you can fit into a RAV4. Toyota, let's go places.
At H-E-B, we're inspired by Mexico. The colors, the flavors, and aromas. And we want to share them with you. So we created the H-E-B Mi Tienda family of products with authentic Mexican flavors. From savory marinated meats, frijoles and queso, to tamales, soft drinks, and more. H-E-B Mi Tienda brings you the traditional flavors you love. One more reason here, everything's better.
Welcome back to Toyota Field. Start of the second half here in the Western Conference Final. San Antonio FC up 1 over Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. The road to the USL Championship Final, which could potentially run through its conclusion at Toyota Field if San Antonio can hold on to the final 45 minutes. But here's how it has shaped up in the conference final weekend. Lou City through to the final after a 1-0 win in extra time last night over Tampa Bay Rowdies. And San Antonio FC 45 minutes away from a date with a #1 seed from the Eastern Conference. And we'll see how both coaches, Alan Marcina and Brendan Burke, approach the second half in this match. Mishi Galina sitting on a yellow card. Could have easily gotten a second. There's confrontation later in the first half against Jordan Farr. Along with Hayden Partain and our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss. Appreciate you joining us here. Carter Manley, off the initial service, gets bumped down right in front of the Colorado Springs bench. Second time that Carter has gone to ground. Looked like he got the wind knocked out of him at the end of the first half, and looks like he takes a arm to the face there. Jairo Henriquez flailing out that left arm there, catching Carter Manley, who's on the ground. And I'll be curious whether we see the same level of physicality, Hayden, in the second half that we saw what transpired in the first 20 minutes to open the match.
Yeah, I think we will see that. I think a bit more strategy is going to come into play, though, especially as we get further into the second half. You know, maybe some front runners or formation changes on the Switchbacks end if the scoreline stays the same. I don't see many changes from San Antonio FC happening unless they want to bring more energy and, you know, maybe Christian Pirano or Nacho Ballone.
Well, nice show of sportsmanship, though, from Henriquez. Certainly not intentional with the flailing arm catching Carter Manley. Carter is up and appears to be okay to continue. And if you're Brendan Burke on the bench, you do have a piece in Elvis Amo, who scored 13 times in the regular season, that can bring you more of an attack-minded approach, and you've got to expect Amo will make an appearance sooner rather than later, seeing how long this match goes with the current scoreline. It was maybe somewhat surprising that Amo started the match on the bench rather than in the 11 to begin tonight, but perhaps it was for this reason. Brendan Burke citing his team needing a goal in the second half. Cam Lindley on the far touchline. Henriquez. Michael Edwards and Lindley. And Colorado Springs building up some possession here, much like they did at the end of the first half. And a good ball through this time. Ockford upfield looking for Maka King. Or Echeverria rather looking for Maka King rather. And back the other way, Santiago Patino with a confrontation with Tristan Hodge, and the foul whistled on Hodge. And Kevin Grotley to his pocket will pull out the yellow on Hodge in the 49th minute.
That play started at Carter Manley reading a pass, but great touch here from Patino to put the ball into space and then just committing the foul. And it's in transition, and he would have been kind of off and running. It's an easy yellow card for the ref.
So Hodge is the second switchback to be served yellow. Brendan Burke was served a yellow in the opening minutes of the match, disputing the handball that was not called on Mitchell Tainer. And now Fabian Garcia will line up over the ball.
I don't know if we've ever spoke about this, but Fabian Garcia, when he sets the ball down, he takes his steps as if he's hitting a field goal. I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but it seems to work.
He's been so crucial in these pieces, and especially now in the absence of PC and Mohamed Abu, who've been primarily SAFC's set-piece specialists for the majority of the year, at least in terms of trying to find a runner in these types of situations rather than going for goal. If you're going for goal, you're going with Fabian. Fabian now trying to clip one in here as Caldwell will read it well, bring it down rather easily.
Yeah, it's the right idea, just poorly executed, a little too close to the keeper. But you want that ball to whip away from the goalkeeper to where they feel like they can come out and grab it out of the air, but it's too far out of their reach.
Just the one shot past Caldwell in the first half, but Connor Maloney's goal in the 23rd minute has San Antonio up a goal. Henriquez will turn, looking upfield in Echeverria's direction, and again it's Jasser Kamiri to direct that ball out. Maka King was trying to take the throw well upfield. Tristan Hodge will reset back at the midfield line. Hodge, a volley to himself over Manley. Manley will take it, and then it's directed off of Manley, I believe, yes, and will belong back to Colorado Springs. So the Switchbacks moving their way up the field here, more methodically to start this second half. Enriquez tries to give it a go. That's off of Connor Maloney and will bounce harmlessly to Jordan Farr.
It would take just an absolute banger from that distance to beat Jordan Farr.
I don't mind if Colorado Springs tries to slow the pace down a little bit. Probably works to their benefit, even down a goal, because it takes SAFC out of what they want to do necessarily, which is try to run and play vertically and get upfield quickly. And we saw teams over the course of the regular season try to slow play San Antonio FC, and at times it did work. It kind of bothered the way that Alan Marcinez' club wanted to play.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, and it kind of speaks to the Patino drawing that yellow card. I mean, Colorado Springs Switchbacks had a really good progression of play, and then they sniffed it out, and San Antonio's off and running in the counter. If you can cut that out and slow it down, it makes it very difficult.
Another corner coming up for Colorado Springs. They've had all the corners tonight. This will be their 5th. Macaulay King was trying to break through, and now Cam Lindley will walk off to the far stick here. With that right-footed service, will be an out swinger in this instance. That ball comes to the top of the 6 and it's headed away. There's contact and a whistle. Jordan Farr came well off his line in the defense of Mitchell Tainer.
I think Jordan Farr this whole season has been, communicating well with his defense, but they're all in it together, and he's backing up his defender. Mitch makes a great clearance and gets kind of sideswiped late, and he's going to try to protect his teammate.
In the regular season, Colorado Springs went 7-9-1 on the road. They were outscored by the opposition 34-31. Had maybe their biggest win of the season on October the 4th in El Paso, where they won 4-1. And even though they won just one of their final 5 matches, Brendan Burke told me that that match was the one where he felt they got right. They hadn't been healthy. They had just lost Haji Berry, their MVP for the season. And they were just trying to get to full strength before getting to the postseason. It wasn't a question of whether they would make the playoffs, but could they be at full strength? And that 4-1 win at El Paso gave them some comfort, knowing they'd be in a position to do something special at this point of the year. And here they are in the Western Conference Final with that opportunity, despite the fact that they're down a goal. Jairo Henriquez trying to spot Hodge and concedes possession. Patino fouled by Henriquez, and Henriquez will be shown yellow.
Patino's just so good at using his body, putting his body between the defender and the ball. And in times like that in transition, just a normal foul, becomes a yellow card.
So Galena, Hodge, and now Jairo Henriquez all sitting on yellows here early in the second half for Colorado Springs. It's Christian Pirano getting some last-minute instructions.
And that's one thing you don't want to be, is sitting on a yellow when a player like Pirano is going to get on the field. I mean, he loves taking players on 1v1, having them bite, swing at the ball. It's very easy to draw another yellow with that style of player.
Garcia to the back post and punched away by Caldwell. Nice little flick by Henriquez. Galena trying to open up a little bit, heavy on the touch, met there by Manley. The ball will belong back to San Antonio. As Pirano will come on here for Justin Dillon in the 56th minute. So San Antonio FC, who in the second half at the 1 hour mark last Friday against Oakland went to the three-striker formation, bringing Dillon on for Pirano. It's now the opposite, with Dillon coming off here just before the 1 hour mark and Pirano coming on. It's still San Antonio so dangerous when you put a player of Pirano's skill and creativity in the middle of the park and you still have the likes of Patino and Adeniran up top.
Yeah, I think either way, whichever one's going to be starting or subbing on, the change in dynamic of style of player is just so drastic. Any team's going to have to adapt quickly.
Pirano made 10 appearances after rejoining the club in the middle of the summer. Scored a banger of a goal on the final night of the regular season against Orange County to salvage a point. Christian in his San Antonio FC regular season career, 12 goals in 56 matches. Connor Maloney, back to Jordan Farr, and behind the play, a whistle and a foul.
Yeah, just a bit of over-aggression from Steven Echeverri. He's trying to press on past Maloney. Just kind of clips him.
So again, Garcia over the ball. And we've seen him try to drop in these balls from these positions a couple of times and see if he can have a little more success this go around. And this is going to tail well off away from Mitchell Tainer, who actually, no, he kept it in play. Much to the dismay of Caldwell in the net. Tainer still down. Ball is directed out.
Looks like the switchback players are fuming, thinking that that ball was out of play, but it's really well done by Tainter. He was really getting held up on his initial run into the box, but he found a way to save it and cross it back across, and then ended up getting to take a shot himself on the clearance.
And so that will garner SAFC's first corner of the match after conceding the first 5 to Colorado. There's Garcia. The right-footed outswinger here. Towards the back post, headed down. Patino couldn't get it through. It's punched out by Hodge. It'll belong once again back to San Antonio.
Like a few players were contesting for a handball, but again, it's from that point-blank range. It just goes off of his torso, stomach area. It's well defended.
Adeniran got a good ball there through, but didn't find Patino, the runner, on the other end. Henriquez will send it forward. Well done by Garcia. Tracking back on Galena, will direct that one out. Echeverria will go quickly here. Jairo Henriquez. Lindley and Hodge right in front of their bench. Lindley looking for support. Sends one through. Echeverria was cut back to the inside, and the ball went around him. That's an errant ball from the feet of Michael Edwards that'll result in a counter opportunity for San Antonio, but Pirano's delivery is just a little bit beyond the reach of Santiago Patino.
Yeah, and I think that was a wrong pass selection. To be honest, he should have played a streaking Adeniran on the left side. Got to know the qualities of each player, and you know Patino's ability to run with the ball isn't the same as Adeniran. He would have been 1v1.
Switchbacks now trying to stretch San Antonio out here a little bit as Maka King will get forward. Henriquez tried to volley that one forward, and it didn't find a switchback runner on the other end. In the meantime, Pirano and Patino. Patino turning. Is dispossessed of possession there. Now Colorado Springs with their own counter with Sebastian Anderson. Lindley will switch the play. Echeverria. Lindley will get it back from Anderson. Will set up Hodge. Hodge for Maka King. King back to Hodge. Henriquez. Jimmy Ockford. It's almost, Hayden, as if they're looking for that perfect pass and that perfect service into the box, and it's just nowhere to be found. In the meantime, it's Sam Adeniran the other way. And he bullies over Michael Edwards, able to get it back and give it a go as Caldwell gets fingertips on it to keep it away from goal. And Shannon Gomez called for the foul on the outside.
Yeah, we've been talking about this the whole time. The Switchbacks are playing very well. They're sustaining possession. You know, they get cute on one pass in the final third, and SAFC's off to the races, and Adeniran, you know, almost puts the ball in the back of the net if it weren't for a brilliant save. You can see Shannon Gomez is trying to swing on one side and gets called for the foul, but Adeniran doesn't quit on this. He turns. He doesn't even need to look where the goal is, and it's a big stop at the end of the day.
Lindley spots Galena. Galena taking it with his left. And it'll belong back to Jordan Farr. It's really the first time in a long time that Galena has gotten some service in a somewhat dangerous spot.
Yeah, and the key word there is somewhat. You know, it was a half chance. Kamiri's in his face. It's very difficult to score a goal with that much pressure on you.
Again, it's been a frustrating night for the 22-year-old, who, when he's been at his best, the world seems like it's been at his feet, if certainly not the eyes and attention of USL over the course of the regular season, even without his running mate, Haji Berry. And when the two of them together were on, it was the best duo in all of USL Championship to watch. Between the two of them in the regular season, 28 goals in their 30 matches together, Hayden.
That's more than some teams' total team goals.
But the one thing about Colorado Springs is they haven't changed either their philosophy or their approach, even in the absence of their MVP. Still play the same way. The question is whether they can find an equalizer playing that way here in the second half against a stout SAFC defense. The foul here coming back on Henriquez. And as Elvis Amo is getting ready to come on the Colorado Springs bench. He's one of really two injections of attack that Brendan Burke can go to, the other being Aaron Wheeler, who has 2 goals in these playoffs. King trying to send Galena forward, and Tainer with him stride for stride. There'll be a foul on Shannon Gomez. Or on Sam Adeniran, rather. Edwards. Already the first 20 minutes of this second half in the books. San Antonio FC feeling very comfortable, even up only a goal right now. Here's Anderson. We'll push it out wide. Lindley with a service into the box, and only Jordan Farr to get to the end of it.
And again, they're getting in good areas, but just that final product isn't quite there. Or it might be there, but there's just an SAFC defender right in the space as well.
And a foul whistled on Pirano here on Hodge, and then afterwards, looked like Pirano might have perhaps stepped on Hodge and gets served a yellow here in the 66th minute.
Yeah, it's just a tackle through the back. It's a foul.
There it is. He kicks the ball, and
I will say though, Hodge did in a challenge earlier with Carter Manley. He did hurt his wrist. He's been holding that for a little while now. Didn't look like there was much contact there on kicking the ball away.
So the 6'2" striker Elvis Amo will come on here in the 66th minute. It will take out Steven Echeverria. Amo 13 goals in the regular season in 33 matches. He was tied for 12th in the championship in goals and tied for 15th with his 60 total shots. Adeniran flicking it forward. Matt Mahoney up the touchline there in search of Galena. Namo will come back to play the ball for his first touch to Hodge. Henriquez making the run now will come back. He's defended. Well, harassed would be the better word by Fabian Garcia. Ockford for Hodge. Slips past Manley. Mahoney and Ockford now. And Macaulay King. Henriquez. Slips one here. Amo. Oh, he had King. King has to come back for the ball. Up top, Anderson. Pushing it out wide is Galena. Galena, top of the box. Galena cuts it back, slips it to Anderson, puts it on frame, and a save by Farr. It's the best buildup Colorado Springs has had all night, and yet it was still a relatively easy chance taken for Jordan Farr.
Yeah, I'd agree. It was very good play and patience from Colorado Springs, but you know, at the end of the day, it's a comfortable routine save for Jordan Farr.
After the play, Jasser Kamiri needs just an extra moment here of attention before he comes to his feet.
Yeah, I don't know if he had rolled his ankle or on that run to the front post from King, if there was a collision or contact there.
Kamiri and Macaulay King.
Oh, yeah.
Steps right there. That right ankle rolls.
Yeah, and you could see he was letting the trainer know it popped. And on that outside, when you roll it outside, it's that ATFL. I've been there many times. If you feel a pop, it's usually those ligaments are burning, and you'll see how severe it is. Maybe put a extremely tight tape job, and you can just see on that landing his momentum just doop. Yeah, that doesn't feel good. We'll see if they can tape it up tight and he can continue to play, or if he's going to have to, Marcina's going to have to make a change.
And while we have a moment, I'd like to tell you, you can win the ultimate World Cup viewing experience with the Hisense Playoff Sweepstakes, a grand prize of a Hisense 120-inch laser TV, $500 gift card. The Hisense Playoff Sweepstakes is now live. Run till November 13th, 11 p.m. Central. The QR code, scan it right on your screen now for your chance to win. And for Alan Marcina, in terms of what options he has here on his bench, from the defensive standpoint, it's obviously not a lot. It's Saad Abdul Salam would be probably the more likely of a defending candidate, unless you're going to switch Carter Manley back to play more of his defender role, push either Fabian Garcia or Mitchell Taintor into the middle, and you could put David Loera perhaps out wide. Certainly some options here, but the stretcher has come out for Jasser Kamiri. He's going to be carted off, and I can't believe he's going to continue at this point. And Saad Abdul Salam indeed will come on here. So this is where that depth of San Antonio FC has been tested all season. They finished the regular season with 117 man games lost due to injury, and including last week against Oakland, used 34 different lineups in their 35 games tonight, making it 35 and 36. And Saad Abdul Salam, who didn't play very much down the stretch, Hayden, at the end of the regular season, still came on for 11 matches, started 8 games. Plenty of experience for the former Sporting Kansas City first-round pick, 12th overall back in 2015.
Yeah, and it looks like there might be sort of a formation change. No formation change, but it'll be Abdul Salam will be in that right side, and Carter Manley will drop back, and then Fabian Garcia will then sit in that center back role between Taintor and Manley.
And again, those are positions that Manley and Abdul Salam are more than comfortable playing. Fabian Garcia as well playing in the middle of that 3-back line there for San Antonio FC. They did it all year. Meanwhile, Henriquez trying to play it across the face of goals, defended out. And Saad Abdul Salam comes right in and makes an immediate impact as he wouldn't let Henriquez get that service across. Colorado Springs will get another corner, and it'll be Aaron Wheeler, the veteran. This is his time, the final 20 minutes of the match. 34-year-old who came out of retirement to join his buddy Brendan Burke in this Colorado Springs club here. On their run to the playoffs, scored twice in his 18 appearances.
And you can see him giving instruction. I'm sure he's going to be the target guy.
We'll go flag to flag here for Cam Lindley after San Antonio directs that ball out. Aaron Wheeler on for Maka King here in the 72nd minute. And Lindley about to serve the 7th Colorado Springs corner of this match. It's a good ball to the top of the 6, but it's headed out by Taintor. And Pirano will win possession. A foot race the other way. Pirano a little heavy on that touch, but coming back, it allows Anderson to direct it out and give SAFC the throw as they get out of their own end.
And that's really well done by Pirano. Even though he's a super skillful player, still grafting and finding ways to poke that away, and earns a throw in high up on the field.
Again, for Colorado Springs in their first 2 playoff matches, they had outshot the opposition 26-16, and half of their shots had been on target. 13 of the 26 tonight. Just 2 of their 7 shots have been on target, and neither has been much of a test for Jordan Farr. That'll be awarded to Jeff Caldwell. As we approach the final quarter hour and time now starting really to become a factor for Colorado Springs, it's as if at times they've been trying to just find their way into this match, and San Antonio FC really just has never allowed them to gain their footing, as Adeniran will be served a yellow with a late challenge there. It's the first yellow handed out to an SAFC player in this match. Actually the second after Pirano got one after coming on.
And Adeniran's got to be smart here. But I see what he's arguing. What he's saying to the ref is basically he followed through the play, but the switchback player on the clearance, his follow-through kicked Adeniran rather than Adeniran running into his space. And the ref's got to be aware of savvy play like that, because, I mean, there's players out there that are really good at drawing that kind of stuff.
Here's Hodge fending off Pirano. Hodge gives it a go wide. But that's got to be the approach if you're Colorado Springs right now. You've got to take chances going for goal here. Down to your final quarter hour of the season, down a goal.
Yeah, you do, but if you're SAFC, I mean, a guy taking a shot from 25 yards out, not even in the middle of the field, I'd say you're defending really well then.
Oxford volleying it forward. Henriquez trying to volley to himself. Pirano instead to Abdul Salam. And Mahoney upfield. Henriquez the turn. Amo trying to run that down, and instead Fabian Garcia beats him to the ball. Amo back to Hodge, and with the inside heel will trickle across the touchline. What other tricks does Brendan Burke have up his sleeve here in the last quarter hour to try to pull out an equalizer? Wheeler. Shannon Gomez will take it out wide, and he's grabbed by Wheeler. Certainly could be a yellow there in that instance, and it will. As Wheeler will go into the books in the 78th minute.
That's just not a smart decision. He has a teammate coming into the space. There's no reason to draw that yellow card, especially for someone that just came on, your first foul. You're going to be the target striker. There's going to be many aerial duels that you're going to be a part of, and now you're sitting on a yellow card.
Wheeler, the fourth switchback player going into the books here tonight, as has their coach. And now Adeniran turning on that one wide as it dropped like a gift right in front of him at the top of the box. And even onto his favorite left foot, and he just put it wide of goal.
Yeah, and Mahoney just had mistimed that challenge there. The ball bounced over and looked like the ball was a little too far on the right side of Adeniran. He tried to hit it with the outside of the boot, and it just didn't come off the way he wanted.
Lindley. Errant ball through the middle of the park. Abdul Salam stepping up, and now Pirano. He tried to penetrate past Henriquez, but instead it's Lindley. And again, just trying to search out Galena. That'll belong back to San Antonio FC.
See Shannon Gomez with the wink there. He got the clip, but taking his time because he's going to be the one taking the throw. Smart from Lindley, trying to get him on his feet quickly.
Isaiah Foster getting set to come on for the final 10 minutes for Colorado Springs. 19-year-old who is more of a natural defender, but has been used in attacking spaces this season in Colorado. 22 appearances in the regular season. He has one goal. He's going to come on here for Tristan Hodge on the outside. So Hodge, who was sitting on a yellow, will come off. Foster will come on. And 10 minutes remaining here before full time. Anderson with a giveaway. Connor Maloney. That strike defended out. Ockford. Lindley. Elvis Amo now. Amo. Switching it across. Looking for Galena. Again, Abdul Salam. Defending that across. Lands back to Cam Lindley. Lindley. Switching things back up to Isaiah Foster. Foster will bring it down. Back for Galena. Galena slips past Pirano. This is where he's dangerous. Galena. Saad Abdul Salam will step in front. And we get a whistle and a foul here in the middle of the park. Or is it back the other way? Might be back behind the play, it appears.
It looks like it. And it's a strange call with Patino was in with a dinner in for advantage, so it must be a card or something off the ball that he called it back for.
Well, there's the reading of the fans behind the SAFC net. Mitchell Tainer fired up here. His club on the verge of advancing to their first ever USL Championship final. And they just haven't allowed Colorado Springs to get comfortable at all here tonight. Pirano, good touch. Pirano with his left, and a great save by Caldwell, and he'll keep it in front of him.
Great piece of skill by Pirano. First touch, little croqueta, and just it's going wide in the end, but is a great take from distance.
Edwards. Mahoney. He's got some running room. And he flicked it right to Pirano. And Patino spot an open Jordi Dellum. He'll send it off to Adeniran's direction on the far touchline. And Adeniran has got plenty of daylight here as Anderson gets back. Adeniran goes to ground to the edge of the box. He'll be awarded a free kick for San Antonio FC.
And that's where he's just so dangerous. The ball from Dellum was way behind him, and although players were able to retreat for the switchbacks, Adeniran just takes him on and draws another foul in a really dangerous area that I'm sure Fabian Garcia is going to want to take advantage of compared to the last one. Just cuts outside on his favorite left foot, doesn't really do anything. And
San Antonio FC will go back to their bench here for the final minutes of the match. Nacho Bailone will come on here for Sam Adeniran. Really not much change other than you get the fresh legs of Bailone for Adeniran, who's been, as usual, active and certainly fired up here through the 83 minutes that he's spent on the pitch tonight. But a well-played match by Sam, and hoping he sees it continue for one more Sunday. Meanwhile, here's Garcia. Likely a little more dangerous from the corner here. Looking for an insurance marker, and it's over goal. He's been better, Hayden, than what we've seen here tonight on those set pieces. Meanwhile, Wheeler, Amo, Lindley overlapping. Colorado Springs getting forward. Lindley to the back post. Farr punches it away. He's down. Foster picks it up, drives it into the box through, and it'll cut out. And Colorado Springs arguing for a penalty. And they may have a valiant case.
You can see Fabian Garcia is trying to play the ball on the clearance. I don't know if he made much contact on this second service, but his follow-through went into a switchback player. Can't see much there in that angle.
There will be no penalty awarded.
Yeah, the question is if he made contact with the ball there, really.
Kevin Broadley, the center referee, will now give a yellow to the Colorado Springs bench, and I believe that was Carlton Belmar. Actually might have been the backup keeper, Christian Herrera, who got the yellow on the bench.
Yeah, just wanted to get a card that matched his jersey. It's probably better than the coach getting his second yellow.
A foul whistled here on Isaiah Foster. And it was the one moment that Colorado Springs had a little chaos in the box with Jordan Farr out of position after coming out to punch the ball away. Foster drove a low ball, and he was hopeful that there was a runner in there somewhere to get a friendly redirection. Instead, it came through. San Antonio FC survives. Patino will dribble it here to the corner. And we'll just push it out.
Are you going to go on the field?
Off the giveaway is Pirano. Holds. Pirano slips through. And a foul from behind whistled. And now the players all come together.
Yeah, and this is where the linesman and the fourth official have got to communicate, because the center ref is dealing with Maloney at that time when something off the ball in SAFC's final third.
So there's Amo with the foul. Maloney, but then Pirano slips through. And it looks like he took a shot to the midsection afterwards, and that's where he slowed up on his run. But at that point, Hayden, it appeared that was a run for naught, that the foul was already called and it was coming back anyway.
Right. And, I mean, there was many players playing still. And that's where the ref's got to blow his whistle a few times to let everyone know that the play has stopped. You can see the scuffle between Pirano and Mahoney resulted in a pair of yellow cards, but I mean, you said this earlier in the first half, you know, the refs really just got to get control of this game. So many things happening at different areas of the field at the same time. Mahoney's coming up to say that Pirano maybe made contact to his face, like he was slapping his hand away in an attempt to try to pull him up. I mean, there's a lot in it. We can read their lips, and they can get cautions that way as well.
Well, in the meantime, we're just about to cross into the 90th minute here. And after all that, the ball ends up back with Jeff Caldwell and Colorado Springs. And not much on that delivery from Caldwell will set off the counter here for San Antonio. It's Pirano out wide. Flips it across. Patino settles. And again, we'll just dribble it to the outside.
It's a great decision from an experienced player there. Very well can get caught up in the moment and try to go for another goal. You know, felt that defensively Colorado Springs was there, so just going to run to the corner flag and take the air out of the game.
We'll certainly have a few more minutes before a result is decided. Ten to be exact. 10 minutes added time at the end of the second half. It's 2/3 of another quarter hour.
I think that was a little more than I was expecting. I was maybe expecting like 6. I guess with the Kamiri injury, a minimum of 10, because that's what extra time is. It's a minimum.
It's a minimum, and we don't know what'll transpire over the next 10 minutes either. But it's life for Colorado Springs. Wheeler brought down inside the box, no whistle.
See Fabian Garcia hyping up the crowd.
It's a sellout once again at Toyota Field, and when you include those who have been standing all night at the top of the stands on both sides, approaching about 9,000 here inside Toyota Field this evening.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen the Michelob Ultra bunker over there as packed as it is tonight.
They got a few more minutes to hang on here before they begin celebrating. Foul whistled on Patino. And Patino shown yellow. Colorado Springs just getting 8 forward here and trying to set up for service. And they get one through here inside the box. A shot is over goal. A chance for Anderson on the right side. Had a lot of pace on it. He tried to settle and get it on the first time, and he put it over goal.
Yeah, I think that's a very difficult ball to hit first time. Maybe could have taken a touch, but Shannon Gomez is right there. It's from a tough angle. Puts it into the stands. And if I'm SAFC defending that set piece there, I mean, there's got to be a little more urgency to get pressure out to the player that's about to serve the ball. It was pretty nonchalant. I don't know if they didn't recognize that they had played short. But in closing moments of a big game like this, you want to be focused and dialed in and able to get pressure in the areas that it's going to be the most dangerous in giving up a goal.
Lindley back across. Mahoney. Foster. Galena. Tucks it over to Lindley. Back to Bishi. Galena's got some running room. Looking for Elvis Amo and a poor service. Colorado Springs back on the ball once again. Henriquez drives it forward. Directed back out toward the midfield. Sebastian Anderson puts one into the box, but that's going to be well over Aaron Wheeler's attempt.
And you can see Tainter and Garcia are just there with whatever striker's occupying the highest line. They're ready to win the challenge.
And now just forcing Colorado Springs to play vertical balls after vertical balls, really just in desperation Almost a Hail Mary attempt to try to find an equalizer, and yet it can be found as Santiago Patino is pulled down, but no foul whistled. We play on, says Kevin Broadley. Amo. Galena slips free. Galena across. Brought down by Wheeler. Back out to Foster. Foster into the box through a crowd. And there was no one in a white shirt on the other side to take it. It's the second time that Foster's put a ball like that on a low shot through, but nobody there on the other end.
Yeah, and that's a great ball, but there's not a single switchback player that's taking the chance and making a darting run towards the goal. They're kind of just standing and hoping the ball falls to them.
Or hoping for an own goal situation.
Yeah, and with SAFC's communication, you can see they called each other off, knew that there was no player behind them, and let the ball roll out for a goal kick.
We're halfway through the minimum of 10 minutes of added time here at the end of the second half. Been a couple of chances for Colorado Springs here in added time. And added time looks like it'll be a little bit longer. It's like Nacho Bailoni, who may have taken a knock upfield. Get back to his feet and resume. Chance for everyone to catch their breath, grab a sip of water. And San Antonio FC trying to hold on a goal maybe by the unlikeliest of sources in the biggest match of their history, Hayden.
Yeah, it's a great cross at the end from Patino, and just calm, composed, collected finish by Maloney in a very tight space.
Perano pushes past Mahoney here. Tried to spin out of the tackle and it's taken away. It's Amo. Lindley switching the play. Gomez flicks it back across. Amo with his shoulder brings it down off of Maloney, taken by Colorado Springs. Ockford getting it forward on the wing. Lindley slips a ball through, too heavy on that touch. Will ride past Jordan far and out. San Antonio FC can start to taste it a little bit more here. A win, and they will host the USL Championship final next Sunday night against Louisville City. Abdul Salam directs that out. Amo will pick it up for the third consecutive meeting between San Antonio FC and Colorado Springs. It appears that one might be enough. Edwards upfield looking in the direction of Foster. Foster. Henriquez swings a ball in off of Amo. The clearance made out. Anderson pushing it. Galena. He's got Lindley with him outside. Galena's got to track the ball as it went awry a little into the corner. Galena puts it into the box. It's headed, but over goal. Jimmy Ockford had a chance. Alan Marcina wants to know how much time's remaining. Patino. Pirano off his back heel to give away. Lindley trying to search out Galena. Shannon Gomez drives it into the crowd. Expect a little more than just a half minute or so remaining after Bailone went to ground for probably a minute. Edwards. Enriquez will settle. Lindley. Mahoney. Edwards, Lindley hits the ground. Galena, does he have any magic in him? Looking for Amo, taken away. Tater just drives it forward.
Great piece of defending from Tater.
Perhaps one last try for Colorado Springs. Pirano on the counter. Upfield, skips past the defender. Pirano, Patino. Patino will put San Antonio through.
And there they are, finding themselves being extremely dangerous on the counter. All created by Pirano. Great run for Patino to open up space. And then just slotted, little sweaty ball across the box from Pirano, and Patino puts it through the 5-hole for the Dagger.
His 6th playoff goal in 5 playoff matches. And the referee has to direct the on-field media off the field. He came on and had to capture the moment, as beautiful as it was for Santiago Patino.
I mean, the Eastern Conference Final went to overtime. With how much injury time is here, it's almost as if we're playing half an overtime.
Lindley. San Antonio FC, for the first time in their history, will play for the USL Championship crown. Alan Marcina, in year 3, has taken his club to the final dance. And it will be here at Toyota Field next Sunday night at 7:30, San Antonio FC and Louisville City. A date for destiny.
It's well deserved. I mean, these boys and the staff of SAFC have worked tirelessly to get to this point, and they found a way to execute again in a big game. Five goals in 2 playoff games. I mean, 2 shutouts. That's difficult to face up against, and they're going now into a championship at home, which is such a difficult place to play. We've looked at that statistically. It's an exciting moment for the club, and it's an exciting moment for the players, but I know that locker room, as much as they're going to celebrate this, are going to really be looking towards next week and capping off the end of the season the right way.
Connor Maloney in the 23rd minute, and then in added time at the end of the second half, Santiago Patino puts the icing on the cake. The USL Championship playoff bracket presented by Hisense started with 14 clubs, 7 on either side in both the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, and it will end with just 2 standing. The top seeds in both conferences, San Antonio FC and Louisville City, will meet for the first time ever, and it will be for the right to hoist the USL Championship trophy. An embrace for Alan Marcina and Christian Pirano. And Nacho Bailone, 2 players who rejoined the club in the middle of the season, and their impact has been so important. And as much as Alan Marcina prepared his club for what they were going to expect at the beginning of the season, he knew he needed reinforcements, Hayden. And he just went out and kept adding and adding He got players like Saad Abdul Salam, Sam Adeniran, Jack Lynn, and of course, as mentioned, Pirano and Nacho Bailone to just make it happen, and happened it has to get San Antonio FC to the USL Championship final.
I'm here with your SWBC man of the match, San Antonio, Connor Maloney. Connor, listen to that, man. Okay, we got to tell you this. This is your first goal in league play. Your coach is coming over here. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. This is your first goal in league play. It also comes as you were named captain of today's game in the place of, I just found out, your roommate as well, PC. You stepped up in this situation. You scored a goal. You get the victory. Connor, how are you feeling, man? Talk to me.
Yeah, first I want to congratulate Colorado on a well-fought game. They had a great season. Next, I want to say I don't deserve the man of the match. We are men of the match. It deserves the first guy to the last guy on this roster. It's a culmination of the entire season. These guys are fighters. These fans are amazing. And this is the best organization. And I'm so proud to, be a part of it with such great people. And last year, there's a sour taste left in our mouth. But now we're Western Conference champions, and we have one more game to go. So job's not done, but I appreciate all the fans that have come out tonight, and we'll see you guys on Sunday.
Connor, I'm going to end it right there, man. Congratulations. Go celebrate with the other champions over there. Ladies and gentlemen, Connor Maloney.
Hayden, San Antonio FC joined USL Championship in 2016 in their 7th season, and for the first time will get an opportunity to play for their first USL Championship trophy. As you see the tail of the tape, which should be an outstanding final a week from tonight. These two clubs, they didn't lead their conferences wire to wire, but by the end of the season, they were head and shoulders above the rest in their respective conferences, and you can see why. It's because not only were they able to score, but they were able to defend. And that ridiculous plus 37 goal differential for Louisville City will be something that will be the challenge for San Antonio FC next Sunday night.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fantastic matchup, especially for a final. There's not many times that you get the top seed advancing all the way through. You see a lot of upsets. But it's an exciting time, especially because both clubs have never even played each other. So there's no reference point. We can look at all these statistics. The only difference is one team played all teams in Western Conference and the other played in the Eastern. But I really do think that it is the best of both conferences in the final. So it's going to be an exciting match next Sunday.
And what's amazing to think about with San Antonio FC is getting so close a year ago in Orange County, coming to penalties, and when you get to penalties, you almost played a chance at that point. And for SAFC, it was not meant to be that night. It was Orange County's time. But San Antonio FC, a year later, takes the motivation of that defeat a year ago in the championship final in Orange County and produces the most remarkable season in the 7-year history of the club, and it's well-deserved and couldn't be more well rewarded that they get an opportunity to play for the final in the championship next week.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. The ones that returned this season from last season, that stung. I think that they were really taken back by losing in penalties there. There was many players that, whether it was injury throughout the play or cramping, that like PC and other players that weren't able to take a PK, and to be able to fight back as an organization and find a way to get it done, I'm sure it feels all the more better.
You see the date and time. New champion will be crowned as the 2020-2022 season comes to an end next Sunday, 7:30 on ESPN2, ESPN Deportes, and SiriusXM. San Antonio FC is presented with the Western Conference Final Trophy. This club has won every trophy that they could have possibly won this year, from the Copa Tejas trophy for the in-state tournament to the USL Championship Supporter Shield for the most regular season points, which then hence they created their own trophy for that. And now they get one real trophy in the Western Conference, silverware, and now we'll play for the biggest kit and caboodle. And how about PC getting a chance to join his teammates in raising the trophy as well after going down to injury in the semifinal match last week.
You can see Abu just taking the trophy with his family. Oh, it's such a great sight.
The party will continue in San Antonio for a little bit longer. SAFC are Western Conference champions. They're headed to the USL Championship final next Sunday, where they'll have a date with Louisville City. Connor Maloney, Santiago Patino, the goal scorers tonight. 2-0 the final. SAFC a winner. For Hayden Partain and our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss saying so long. This has been a presentation of the USL Championship at Spurs Sports and Entertainment. So long, everybody.